Some people have asked us, what does it take to maintain a homestead like this with, 60 to 80 heads of livestock? Let's find out. It's actually not a whole lot of work, but it is work every single day, usually twice a day. So let's go down and do chores so you can follow along and see what it takes for us to maintain our animales. Start with collecting eggs, the fun part. Before we collect eggs, you're gonna feed them leftover cucumbers from the pickling that Kathy has just been doing. We do this maybe once a day. We bring down kitchen scraps and stuff to feed it to the chickens, and while they eat we can go and collect eggs. So we have 3 egg hatches. Well, we have plenty of egg hatches, but there are 1, 2 and 3 on the other side. So we collect those eggs here real quick. Hello, hello. There is 1 in there. Check this out. There's always a broody hen. See if she lets us grab her eggs. You're a nice broody hen, you're not pecking me. I like that. Hello, hello. Thank you for the eggs. Thanks for keeping them warm. Oh, you got a bunch underneath there. Wow, mommy, you're sitting on a bunch of eggs. All right, thank you for your service. And now we're gonna check on where the guineas and the turkey hen like to lay, and that is inside the hen house. Check this out. Well, first of all, you can see that we have a molting hen that's shedding a tiny bit, and then we have back here number 1 turkey and a guinea egg, and they share a nest. I just built a nest back there. You leave them. Yeah, that turkey hen and the guinea, they decided to lay their egg in there, and they've been doing this ever since. And the funny thing is, they're incredibly prolific egg layers. Like 1 egg a day. There are only a few days that we've not had either a turkey or a guinea egg, but every other day they lay an egg. It's unbelievable. Another thing that I do every time I come down here, I check, or once a day at least, I check how it looks in here, if there is need to add pine shavings or to remove the litter, since we're in a deep litter bedding here, and it actually looks about time to add more shavings. We do this once a week. We check, well, once a week we decide if we're gonna add pine shavings, and so it's usually on a Tuesday, and it looks like this coop is due for some shavings. So we're probably gonna do this tomorrow because today is Monday. And there, the turkey hen with the 2 guineas, male and a female guinea. Incredibly vocal, incredibly vocal. And now we're gonna check if we have more eggs in here. Yes, we have 2. And that's it. The other thing that I always check is down here. What we have is we have brewer's yeast, we have kelp, we have oyster shells or egg shells that we crush and feed them back, and then here we have grit. And so I always check if this is full, it needs to be refilled, but today it is full. So this is not a daily chore, it's more like once every couple of days or so. And then we check here on our trusted Coop Works feed silo if we need to refill it. This holds about, I think, 80 pounds or so of feed. We have a separate review on this, so you can check that out. But we really like this. It's 2/3 full. Be quiet. And so we're not gonna refill it today. And then over here, if I may pivot, here we have our turkey and guinea shelter for the night. And here we have also brewer's yeast and feed for them that we fill up whenever it's empty. And yeah, that's where they, if I zoom out here a little bit, that's where they spent the night. As you can see here, that's their shelter. There's freaking mosquitoes. But there's nothing to do here. All good. And then over here we have water, extra water. Even though we have the nipple feeder back there and we have some extra feed because our little one thinks that the turkey here, the Tom, has an easier time feeding from an open trough rather than from the feed silo. So we have that. And this is our herding dog in action, herding the chickens. Don't behave. Ribby, leave it. Leave it. Leave the chicken. Good boy. Next up we have rabbits. Rabbits. So what we do with the rabbits is we check on pellets, we check, make sure the water nipples work, and we check on hay. And then also the condition of the hutch, if we need to add pine shavings then later. And you can see here we have pellets, and hay that we feed them. And we also have, I do this sometimes, is those pumpkin seeds. They really like this. And it's one way to, you know, get the rabbits a little bit closer to me, to get them used to the hands, so when we have to pick them up at some point, they are not too shy. So let's get some of the feed here. Actually, those ones pretty good. So for the feed, we just have a scoop with pellets. We'll fill it up. Hey, rabbits. Hey, mommy. All right, those little ones, I'm going to show you in a second. They make a huge mess. Check the nipple. Water is working. Those guys make a huge mess. Let me show you. So what they do is they scratch out all of the pellets here and make a huge mess here. It's a huge feed waste, but I don't know where they're doing this. Usually they are not. And then every time I come in here, I also check, make sure water works. This guy is connected. Well, all of those nipples are connected to our main water supply. It's filtered water, so we don't have to worry about refilling buckets or waters or anything. Here is mommy. That's our mama doe. And the little ones. Oh, one thing. Oh, there is one. And he's gone. One thing I wanted to show you. You see this? This type of poop, that's the first passing of the poop. The way rabbits, what they do is they eat, they poop, and the first passing of that poop, they usually eat immediately because rabbits are not very good at extracting nutrients from the feed, so they don't have a rumen to ferment. What they do instead is they eat the first passing of the poop to extract even more nutrients. And then the second passing, then those are the hard pellets that you probably know. And what I just showed you, that's the first passing, so I'm surprised that they didn't eat it. Look at what we have here. There's a litter of 8 or 9, I think we have in here. Careful, buddy. Careful, careful. Move your head. All right. So we check for hay. Hay is good. We do the pellets. Pellets are good. Water, good. All good. That was hutch number 1. Now we rinse and repeat in hutch 2 and 3. Let's go over here. And then we check in here. That hutch is interesting because that has a doe with, it was a litter of 6, I believe. We already moved 4 out of those rabbits into the mobile rabbit tractors. because they are getting into the age where they can reproduce, and if we don't want them to backbreed to mom. But 2 of them are elusive. They are the shyest rabbits I've ever had. We've ever had. So here we refill the feeder. Hay is still good. Water is working. All set. And then we have a lone doe over here. In hutch number 3. Water working, pellets good, hay good. And during the day normally you don't see the rabbits out because they're too hot and they just go underground. Since they can burrow, they appreciate their tunnels. That's one of the big advantages of raising rabbits in a colony where they can burrow, because they can escape the heat and we don't have to worry about them too much. All right, let's go over to our mobile rabbit tractors. And we have 3 of them here, as you can see. And what I do here is pretty much the same. I check for water. Now in this case, since that water is in the heat all day, what I actually do is I refill the water. I dump it and fill in cold water. If I can find the hose. Oh, there it is. So first we're gonna get all of the hot water. Really leave it, it's hot. Gonna burn your tongue. Not smart. So we dump all the hot water out of the hose. Meanwhile we dump the water here. See, I'm multitasking. Once that water is cold, what I also do sometimes, besides filling up the bucket, I just put cold water on the roof to cool down a little bit. And then we fill this guy up. While this is filling up, I get the hot water out of here, of the nipple here. So they have nice cold water. And then same thing, I check on the feeder. Make sure that's full, not too much, so it doesn't get stale. And then we have a bucket over here that has feed. And this is evening chores, by the way. I should have maybe mentioned this, but this is what's happening in the evening. I'm gonna show you then what's happening tomorrow in the morning, which is pretty much the same thing. In fact, I might not show you what's happening in the morning because it's literally the same thing. We do the same things, go through the same motions in the morning and in the evening. And of course, depending on how full the feeder and stuff is, we may not always have to refill them every single time, right? And then what I typically do now with those guys in the evening is, usually before I fill up the bucket really, I put it to the side and I move them one length. The reason why I move them one length is because they have already mowed down the grass. I'm going to show you then in a second how it looks. Not all of it, but a good portion of it. So to minimize soil disturbance, I give them a fresh patch. And they by now know what's going on. They know they're moving and they... Whoops. Come big boy. They tend not to get stuck, I'm saying, and they got stuck twice. So, everyone good? Alright, so I moved them along here. And if you can see them all huddled up here, it's because we have fans here, solar powered fans, that keep the airflow up a little bit so they feel more comfortable. But now, let's check on those guys. We have 2 bucks in here, separated. It's warm too. Two bucks in here that we separate so we can keep them in one tractor without them getting into each other's hair, literally speaking. Drain the hot water out of the supply line. Hey, you guys hot down there, huh? I can relate because I'm hot too. the cool thing with the rabbits is, the rabbits on pasture that is, that they get, I don't know, maybe 30-40% of the feed from the grass, which means less feed cost and a better manicured lawn and a fertilized lawn, because they obviously poop. That's one of the reasons why we use tractors instead of keeping them in hutches. All right, big boy, that's your feeder back in. The water before it overflows. And here we actually were testing two separate solar fans. This is a much more robust and bigger solar panel than those small black ones here. And definitely the fan is more powerful, and I think we're gonna upgrade to all of those. Those are more expensive, obviously, but I think better overall. And so the feed is all good. They're good to go. I'm gonna spray the roof a little bit because it's been hot all afternoon. And then we check on numero tres. Those guys need to be moved. You're already digging a hole. Are you guys ready to move? All right. Oopsie. Where is my hose? Where is my hose? Alright guys, enjoying a new salad bar. Excellent. And all of this sounds kind of a lot of work, but in reality it's not. I mean, I take a lot of time now because I have to move the camera and all a million times, but can actually be done in less than 10 minutes. There's 2 more stops that we have. And also usually the kids do all of that, so I don't have to, which just makes it even less work for me, which is good. Maybe one thing that I do also is when I refill the buckets, I check if it's green inside from the algae. If so, I just wipe it out and rinse it out, you know. And with that, we are going to our rabbit cage. Yes, we do have a cage, more like for emergencies, like an emergency pregnancy we were not expecting. So that guy we're gonna do now. So this guy is even less work. Hello, hello. We just check on the feeder. Since the bucket is not exposed to direct sunlight up here, it doesn't have to be refilled very often. There's no evaporation going on. We have here a bucket with pellets. We have hay that we check, but the hay is good. Actually, they are very wasteful. You guys are very wasteful, all of you guys. And then every so often, every couple of days, we empty those pans with the manure. And I always also check the water just in case to make sure we're still good, and we are. But you know what? Just because I'm here, I'm gonna refill it. Let me get the hose. And one thing that makes all the difference is to have water nearby wherever you are, because there's nothing worse. Well, there probably is, but hauling water is no fun. So we always want to have water here. We have several hoses running in every direction to have water access wherever we need to. Ain't that right? And also for those guys, we have USB fans up here that blow some air and get them some extra airflow, because even though they're in the shade here, but in the morning there is direct sun exposure. And even when there is not, it's, you know, hot and humid. And so I can tell they appreciate the extra airflow, because they're very often right underneath those fans here. And we have a separate review, by the way, on this cage and why we have it and all. Who wants to come to puppy? Yeah? Who wants to come to puppy? Don't scratch me. Look at this guy. They were born and raised in this cage. Because mom was supposed to be dispatched, but don't tell her. And we figured out that she was pregnant, so we didn't dispatch her. Instead we got her a cage because we ran out of hutches and space. Huh? And you guys were born in there. And they're doing fine in there, but I cannot wait for tractor space to become available so we can move them out on pasture. And one more stop, and those are our bees. And they're really the least amount of work. Also the garden, I should mention here, but that's more like my wife's territory, so I just know that we are growing stuff. We have sweet potatoes here, we have, well, here peppers, we have tomatoes back there, we have cucumbers here. Actually, my wife is pickling right now. More sweet potatoes, we have strawberries. I think Isabella is growing some beans back there, even though we are not really bean eaters, but she got them, the seeds, and decided to do it. And over here, next to our now finally working again Tesla setup, we have our bees. So what do we have here is we have 2 hives. We're actually gonna switch the hive type to horizontal hives when we move to the new property. I really want to try that out. I think horizontal hives are the way to go. But here we have 2 hives right now. One has already a honey super on top, so we'll see when it's full. But what I do here on a daily basis is actually nothing. I just visually inspect what's going on. If I see anything that's funky, any fighting or, you know, whatever might be going on, if they're coming in with pollen or not. And besides that, once a week or so, I open a hive, for example this one, to see how far the honey is. But beyond that, they are fairly, well, we are not managing them really, we just let them be. Pun intended, because we want to be off hands and they know what they are doing, and we, you know, since we don't medicate or treat anything anyway, if there was something to treat, we don't do it, and so far it's been working reasonably well. But yeah, that is it. I mean, now it obviously, with, if you watch the whole video, that video might be 15-20 minutes or whatever long, I don't know. We'll have to see, but it's actually not that much work. And we have, our latest count was 83, but then heads of livestock, not including the bees obviously. And we dispatched a bunch of rabbits though, so we might have maybe 10-15 fewer animals. But nonetheless, I mean, it's you know, we're an acre and a quarter, but actually usable space here. We have a homestead tour if you want to check that out. It's maybe 3/4 of a quarter that we have run all of this. And it's not that much work. What is, I guess, the sticky point here is that you have to be here every day. It's not that you can say, well, it's not that much work, so, you know, we can just check back in a week. No, you have to go every day and every night. In fact, later at night, I'm gonna go down and close up, turn on the electric fencing for the turkeys and the guineas who sleep outside. Make sure that all the chickens are in. You know, make sure that all the rabbits, everything is locked properly and everything is looking good. So like do a final round before I go to bed. And yeah, but it has to be done, you know, every day. And next morning we're gonna repeat what you saw here right now, you know. So it's something that you have to do. You have to be here, but it's not a whole lot of work really in comparison to what you're getting out of it. Of course, sometimes someone is injured, you know, rabbits might escape, or there's always something, you know, that needs to be handled. It's never boring. There was never like, oh, I don't have any work at all. But overall, it's still it's a very reasonable amount of work for what you're getting out of it. And, you know, you were out here in the sun. I mean, now I'm in the shade, but, you know, you get the sun exposure, you sweat, you get exercise, you know, you move, you're in nature, you're engaged with something, you're present. So it's all good stuff, you know. It's not that you're wasting time or anything. That's homesteading on a small scale. With all the talking, I almost forgot the most important thing, our eggs. That would have not been good. Let a raccoon eat them. With that, Kummer out. Did I say we were done? We are not, because I again forgot something, and that is really the most demanding animal on our homestead, who needs not attention once a day or twice a day, many times a day, and that is, are you ready to play? The dog man. Walk early morning, several times a day, playing and doing some bite work that he enjoys, and trying to keep his obedience somewhat up to par, even though shepherds are notorious for forgetting what they've learned if you don't practice it. Unlike cattle dog, once they've learned something, they remember. Not so much shepherds. They're like kids. Where is it, Ruby? Go find it. Come on, big boy. Come on, big boy. See what I meant before? In front of the fan. They're liking it. And you? Go. Now we got everything. I think that was it. So it's actually more work than I thought. If you really add everything up that I forgot, but no, actually it's not. It's very doable, even if you have a full-time job, or in our case, 3 full-time jobs. Kummer out, for real this time.